Think you're maximizing your match betting profits? Let me break down the difference between standard laying and underlaying and when you should use each of them. Knowing the difference between the two can be the key to increasing your profits. Hi, if you didn't know already, my name is Joe and I've been match betting for a few years now. And if you don't know what match betting is, it's basically a way of making profit on sports without the risk of losing any money. And how do we do this? Well, we do this by placing a lay bet on an exchange which basically covers our other outcomes. So for example, on one site on a normal book, we'd place Bukayo Saka to score a goal, and then on the exchange where we lay things, we'd lay against Saka to score a goal, and therefore we've covered all outcomes. And we can make money in a few different ways, for example, a difference in odds, or if you've got things like free bets, we can lock in profit. Now, if you didn't know, there's different approaches to laying depending on the context that it's in. So first of all, let's cover standard laying. And standard laying is where we lock in guaranteed profit regardless of outcome. So for example, if you place something on a team, for example, Arsenal to win, and then on the exchange you laid against Arsenal to win, if you standard laid and you put in the right stake to standard lay, then regardless of the outcome, whether Arsenal won the match, lost the match, or drew the match, then we'd make the same amount of profit, and this is called standard laying. So when do we use standard laying? It is very common to use standard laying, and there's two main scenarios I can think of that you'd use them in. Number one is anytime we have a free bet, we can lock in profit with match betting by using standard laying. Ideally, we'd make 75 to 80% of our free bet in profit. So for example, if you had a £10 free bet, we should be able to turn that into at least £7.50 in guaranteed profit, as I said, regardless of outcome. And you'll definitely have come across this technique if you've gone through the sign-up offers and you've done it with match betting. It's pretty common to have a sign-up offer like bet £10, get £40 in free bets. Therefore, if we did have £40 in free bets, we should be making at least £30, if not more, like £32 in guaranteed profit from these. So this technique can really be profitable. There are loads of other ways you'd have free bets past the sign-up offers as well. There's loads of other reload offers you can do, like bet £10, get £10 in free bets and stuff like that bookmakers offer on a recurring basis. So yeah, the first reason you'd use standard laying is free bets. The second reason is for qualifying bets. Similarly, you'd use this on sign-up offers as well. So for example, on the sign-up offer, bet £10, get £40 in free bets, we first got to bet £10 of our own money to qualify for the £40 in free bets. Now with match betting, we don't just want to lose £10 and punt it. We want to lock everything in so we know exactly what's going to happen when we place the bet. And to do this, we're going to use standard laying. Normally with a qualifying bet, we will have to take a small qualifying loss of say no more than 50p on a £10 stake. So for the offer, bet £10, get £40 in free bets, we might lose 50p on the qualifying bet, but we'll be able to make at least £30 on the free bet, so we're making profit in all. And this 50p loss on the qualifying bet is exactly the same as the free bet, where whatever happens, we're going to lose 50p. So whatever happens to the outcome, we're losing 50p, which is a good thing, you know, it's a lot better than losing £10. And we'd use the exact same technique of standard laying to do this. Now you're probably wondering, how do I work out the stake I need to place for a standard lay? First, you need a match betting calculator, and there are a few different options out there. And the way you do this depends on the calculator, to be honest. But for the calculator I use, you literally just plug in all the numbers and it will be automatically on standard laying. So it will be automatically on guaranteed profit, whatever the outcome is. I'll show you an example here. Now there are other calculators where there'll be a setting at the top, you can change it to standard laying or underlaying, which I'll go into in a bit, but you definitely need to know how to standard lay. It's extremely important. Okay, so the next way of laying is underlaying, and this is again a very common technique used in match betting. Now when do we use underlaying? We use underlaying for things like price boosts and ARBs. With these, the back odds are higher than the lay odds, which allows us to make profit without a free bet or anything like that. Now you're probably wondering, why can't I just standard lay this and make guaranteed profit regardless of outcome? And in short, you can. But through our match betting experience over the years, we realised it is slightly more profitable to underlay everything as opposed to standard laying. And the difference between underlaying and standard laying is if the thing wins, for example, if we put Arsenal to win as our main back bet and then we laid against Arsenal to win, with underlaying, if Arsenal did actually win, then we'd make profit. But if anything else happened, then we'd literally just break even and we wouldn't lose any money. But on the other hand, with standard laying, we'd make profit regardless. However, the profit with standard laying is much lower than the underlay win. So I'll show you this example of a £10 stake with back odds of 4, for example, on a bookie, whatever bookie you want, for example, Bet365, and lay odds of 3. This would be a very good boost. And with standard laying, as you can see, we'd make £3.33 in guaranteed profit. So that's whatever happens, we're going to make £3.33 guaranteed. However, if we change it to underlaying, and again, there's different ways you change your setting to underlaying. On the calculator I use the little white circle, and you need to drag that all the way to the left to be on the underlaying setting. It perhaps doesn't make it as clear as other calculators, but it's just the one I've got used to. And as you can see, if you do that, then our profit, if it comes in and say Arsenal do win, will be £10. But if they don't win, or it's a draw, whatever other outcome, then we literally just break even and we lose nothing. And as I said, with things like boosts where the back is higher than the lay, we found that it is slightly more profitable to do this over time if you're underlaying. It also makes it much more enjoyable in my opinion. But if you were really against it, then I suppose you could standard lay everything and just make a smaller profit on everything. But again, we'd probably recommend underlaying all these kinds of offers. There is also something called overlaying in match betting, which is much less common, but it is still sometimes used by some people. If you think about it, overlaying is just the opposite of underlaying. So it's basically saying if this thing doesn't happen, then I'll make a profit. But if it does happen, I'll just break even. So for the same example of Arsenal to win and then we lay against it on an exchange, if Arsenal do end up winning, we actually break even, but any other outcome, then we make a profit. This profit is much lower than the underlaying profit, and we never really use it, to be honest, so I wouldn't really worry about learning overlaying. One important thing that you have to remember is you have to adjust the stake to whatever technique you're doing. So in standard laying, the back stake is not going to be the same as the lay stake. But however, with underlaying, if you have 0% commissions, the back stake is going to be the same as the lay stake. Just to make it clear, on the match betting calculator I use, the stake that you need to put onto the exchange, for example, Smarkets is an exchange, on the lay bet is the white number above where it says exchange. That's the stake that you need to put in, and it changes depending on whether you're underlaying or standard laying. So I think that's all I have to say for this video. I wanted to keep it brief, but the main point is anything to do with free bets, then make sure you're standard laying, as well as qualifying bets, make sure you're standard laying. But with underlaying, we do this on boosts and arbs, or any time where the back odds are higher than the lay odds. I hope that made it clear and I haven't missed anything, but if I have missed anything, then make sure to let me know, and if you've got any other questions, then make sure to just ask. But other than that, thank you for watching.